Gareth Edwards. We're talking about food, last-minute tips, alternative ideas perhaps even as well for your Christmas celebration. More and more people are turning away from meat and they're turning to the goodness, really, of the earth as a food source. It's certainly growing in popularity. So if you're cutting meat out this Christmas, what options do you really have? Well, joining me now is someone who knows a lot more about this than I do, Lerato Malapane, manager of Leafy Greens Vegan Restaurant in Mildersdrift, to give us a few ideas. And Lerato, good to have you with us. For those who haven't been out to Mildersdrift, you have one of the nicest parts of Gauteng, I think, to have a restaurant. Congratulations on that. Good morning. It almost shocked viewers when we said we were going to talk about a meat-free Christmas. It's almost a strange concept.
Definitely. I mean, we come from a place, especially as South Africans, where our diet is high in meat, extremely rich and heavy. And when we think about Christmas, we're always thinking about the lambs, and we're thinking about the porks, and we're thinking about the chickens. But there's a consciousness now about how people handle themselves and their bodies and what they'd like to live and how they want to live. And it goes down from the old to the young. It's a trend.
Here's the problem with the trend. Every time you mention the word vegan, banting, which we're not going to talk about today, vegetarian, people think the food has to be boring. And I know you've brought through some examples. I know there's even pizza here, so we'll get to the pizza in a moment, Lerato. Is the food boring? And while you're doing that, take us through what people could be doing if they wanted to go the vegan route.
Oh, definitely. The food is definitely not boring. It's absolutely amazing. There's so much variety. It's just that people associate veganism with a cult movement. You know, they think vegans are so uptight and they don't want to accept other people because they live a lifestyle that is not according to theirs. But that's not the truth. Veganism is about a wonderful way of living your life and embracing your body in a way that it should. You know, you should embrace it. So what we have over here is a couple of snacks. I mean, for Christmas, people buy sodas, they buy potato chips and sweets. But they are alternatives that are absolutely divine and delicious. For instance, have you ever heard about coconut bacon?
Coconut bacon.
Coconut
a first
bacon.
On Morning News today and on Unwind on ENCA, coconut bacon.
Coconut bacon. We're not talking about pork. We're talking about strictly...
You're hoping that I can taste it.
Yes, of course. How can I not?
All right, so this has not been fried.
No, this has been dehydrated.
It's dried bacon.
Dried coconut flesh. With some tamari, some macadamia, some sesame seeds.
Trying to find a piece that actually won't make me look bad on TV, so I spill my food everywhere. All right, so take me through this. So what do we got? Coconut, macadamia nuts, sesame seeds, nutritional yeast, tamari, and rock salt.
And rock salt.
Coconut bacon. Here we go.
Bacon.
You know, it's not actually bad. It's actually not bad. It's not bad at all. All right, but I'm also seeing stuff in bottles.
In bottles. Now,
Snacks.
this is our juice cleanse, all right? This is a one-day juice cleanse, 100% cold press fresh juice. So we literally take the beautiful fruits from the garden and then we just cold press it and put it in a bottle. Now, we sell this at Leafy Greens as a juice cleanse. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, all right? So it's breakfast, snack, lunch, snack, and dinner.
You can't see that, but it actually says it on top of the bottles. No, there it is, 1, 2, 3, 4. So a nice, easy system.
There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Okay,
right.
so if I wanted to have lunch, well, let's go breakfast. Let's go breakfast. What am I having?
Give it a shake.
Oh boy, here we go. See, my team didn't tell me I was going to be doing this. I'm happy to, don't get me wrong.
Get active, don't be afraid.
All right, I'm not even going to look what I'm drinking. All right, so you're going to explain to me what I'm having while I'm having number one breakfast, apparently. What am I having?
This is a renew. We have some celery, we have some lemon, we have some greens in there. It's a green juice, but a bit subtle to the palate. Good way to start your day.
I was going to say subtle. I'm not so sure about subtle. Kale, spinach, apple, lemon, ginger. What is this going to do for me?
This is just going to ignite your...
I think I'll keep this one.
No, go ahead.
That's
Feel
mine.
free. You can keep them all if you want. It's a good way to start your day. It gives you a boost of energy that you need. You don't feel lethargic. You don't feel tired throughout the day. And it just keeps you going. That's what greens are good for. They keep you going. They give you the energy that you need. Your body feeds off what it needs.
But for Christmas, people are going to obviously want something a bit more substantial, respectfully, on the table as well. And I know that's why you have the book. I promised something about a pizza. So just take me through how you do a vegan pizza.
Right. Now, when people think about pizza, they always think about wheat. They think about density. It depends if you like a thick base or a thin base, you know. And then we have a lot of people in South Africa who are gluten intolerant, you know, and they really can't find that at certain establishments that are very popular. So what my beautiful boss created was a vegan pizza. It's made from a flaxseed cracker. All right, basically just flax seeds, and then we marinate vegetables. So what's fun about this is that it has a lot of beautiful colors, as you see. You have carrots, and you have tomatoes, and you have the greens. It's absolutely gorgeous. You have the olives, you have the avo. And what's beautiful about this is that you can do this with your family.
Right.
You can do this with the kids. They can marinate some vegetables, and then they create their own vegan pizza. It's so rich that it's very filling. It might not look like it, but that's the thing about vegan food.
The thing about vegan food as well, there has been this perception over the past few years, as is with alternative lifestyles, trying to eat healthy. We've been talking about doing Christmas on a budget, and it's a final question to you, Lerato, as we begin to wrap up. Is it cheap? I don't mean cheap food as in nasty food, but is it budget conscious to live and to do food like this?
It definitely is. Can I tell you something? With the food that we're eating, for instance, when you go to Pick n Pay or you go to Checkers and you buy a lot of food that seems cheap, right? You're actually digesting empty calories. And what that means is that for the hour, it keeps you full. But for the rest of the day, you cannot keep going on that. So what happens? You alternatively go back and you keep buying and keep buying and keep buying. And that's very expensive. Whereas with vegan food, it's so filling and fulfilling for your body that it absorbs the calories that it needs, it absorbs the energy that it needs, and it stays there.
I think it's fantastic advice ahead of Christmas and even for the festivities after Christmas. Lerato, thank you very much for coming in. I wasn't sure about the coconut bacon. It actually is not bad. The snack in a bottle, much better as well. Lerato, thank you indeed. Lerato Malapane from Leafy Greens Vegan Restaurant. It's out in Mildersdrift coming in today. So if you're not into the heavy meats, you definitely have an alternative, and it also won't break the bank. My thanks to all of the guests on this edition of Unwind. Join us at 8:30 on Christmas Day when we look at ways to work off that holiday bulge. Now that you've eaten all the food, we're bringing you some tips to get into shape and stay fit and healthy. From me, it's goodbye for now.